7 years ago, I uploaded my first YouTube video, and honestly, I embarrassed myself that day. I sat in front of my laptop, refreshing YouTube Studio over and over again, waiting for something to happen. After about 4 hours, I had 4 views, and I'm pretty sure two of those views was for me because I was checking if the upload had eventually worked. That time, it wasn't funny. It was so painful. I had spent real time on that video. I filmed it multiple times, edited out every awkward pause, and tweaked the title again and again because I genuinely believed that once I hit publish, something would happen. But nothing happened. No comments, no notifications, no sudden growth, just silence. And if you are a small content creator, you probably know exactly what that silence feels like. It feels personal. It makes you think the internet already looked at your content and decided you are not relevant. I remember sitting there thinking, what's the point of even doing this? I almost deleted the channel that very week. But looking back now, I realized something that would have sounded completely ridiculous to me back then. That silence was actually protecting me. And by the end of this video, I think you will understand why the slow beginning most content creators hate so much is actually one of the most important phases of building a successful YouTube channel. During my first few months on YouTube, I focused completely on the wrong things. I changed my niche, then changed it again. I bought new camera because I convinced myself my old setup make me look unprofessional. I rewrite my channel description multiple times. I watch endless videos about SEO, thumbnails, posting schedules, upload timing, tags, all of it. I was doing everything except understanding what YouTube was actually trying to figure out. Eventually, I realized that every time you upload a video, YouTube quietly tests it. The platform shows your video to a small group of people it thinks they might be interested in your video, then watches what happens. YouTube wants to know if people click on your video, if they stay, or if they keep watching. It also wants to know if they watch another video afterwards. If those signals are strong, YouTube pushes the video further. If they are weak, the system slows down the distribution. So I realized that YouTube wasn't ignoring me. It was evaluating my content, and the truth is, my videos simply weren't good enough yet. But instead of improving the actual content, I kept trying to fix the surface level things that were never the real issue. I call this stage the incubation period. The incubation period is that phase where you are uploading videos to what feels like an empty room. You post something you work hard on, then stare at analytics that says 8 views, 12 views, 5 views, and even every number start feeling like proof that you are failing. But what's actually happening is much deeper than that. Your channel is building its roots, and roots matters more than visibility. Now, here is the uncomfortable part. If one of my early videos had gone viral back then, it probably would have hurt me. Seriously, my retention was terrible. I rambled too much, my hooks were weak, my audio had background noise, and I didn't understand pacing. If thousands of people had watched those videos, most of them would have clicked away almost immediately. And when enough people click your video and leave quickly, YouTube notice. The algorithm starts learning that your content doesn't hold attention, and that signals becomes hard to recover from. I've actually seen this happen to content creators. The people who struggle the most are often not the creators who started slow. It's the creators who got attention before they developed the real skill. Because now they have pressure. Now they are trying to improve while an audience watches every mistake in real time. Starting slow is not a curse. It is a grace period. Once I finally understood that, my mindset changed completely. I stopped seeing low views as rejection and started seeing them as practice. But then I made another mistake. Instead of obsessing over views, I became obsessed with analytics. Every morning, I would open my YouTube studio and stare at numbers, click-through rate, average view duration, impressions, retention graphs. One video would have a 4% CTR, another would have 3.7%, and I would spend ridiculous amount of time trying to decode what every tiny difference meant. I told myself I was finally being strategic, but I still didn't understand something important. There is a massive difference between optimizing for views and optimizing for viewer. Optimizing for view is when you chase what's already working for someone else. You copy thumbnails, mimic titles, jump on trends, and try to reverse engineer another creator's success. But the algorithm is not comparing you to other creators, it's comparing you to your previous self. More importantly, it's trying to figure out who your content is actually valuable to, and that changes everything. Optimizing for the viewer means asking a much simpler question. Is this video genuinely useful for a real person? Not everybody, not the entire internet, just one specific person with one real problem. And that shift completely changed how I made videos. When your content truly helps a certain type of viewer, YouTube testing system starts working in your favor. The platform starts finding more people like that viewer, and if those people stay watching, the algorithm notices, and that's what pushes videos, not trend, not fancy editing, not copying bigger creators. Attention, connection, and clarity are what matters. That's why I started using what I call one viewer framework. Instead of trying to make videos for everyone, I started imagining one specific person before every upload. What are they struggling with? What do they need help understanding? What will genuinely help them right now? Honestly, that approach works even if you have almost no subscribers. A small channel making highly specific, genuinely helpful content can outperform a much larger content creator trying to please everybody, because specific content creates stronger audience signals, and YouTube pays attention to strong audience signals. So here is something practical I want you to do. For your next 20 videos, stop obsessing over views. Instead, choose one skill to improve every time you upload. Maybe one video focus on writing a stronger hook, another focuses on cleaner audio, another focuses on speaking more clearly without rambling, or ending the video more confidently. Just one improvement at a time, because if you improve one skill across 20 uploads, you become a completely different content creator by the end of it. And you should know this. While you are improving, YouTube is also collecting data. It's learning who responds to your content. That's why the incubation period matters so much. This phase is not a wasted time. It's where the foundation gets built. Another thing most people misunderstand is that YouTube is not an AdSense lottery. It's a lead generation system. Video with 100 highly interested viewer is more valuable than a video with 10,000 random viewer who don't care because the right audience stays longer, comes back, and trusts you. Once I understood all of this, things started changing slowly. Not overnight, not through one magical viral videos. It was much quieter than that. One video started doing slightly better than the others, then another ones did. Then a complete stranger started leaving comments, people I don't know, people who found the content naturally. The algorithm tested the video, the retention held, so YouTube pushes them a little further. That's actually what growth actually look like on YouTube. Not one massive explosion, just gradual momentum. Most creators experience this somewhere between video number 15 and video number 30. Not because those videos are dramatically different, but because all the earlier upload quietly did the hard work. Those early videos taught you how to hold attention. They taught the algorithm who your content is for. The breakthrough videos get the credit, but the previous videos built the breakthrough. That's why YouTube rewards consistency more than intensity. The platform doesn't reward the people who start loudest. It rewards the people who stay long enough to improve. And honestly, that content creator refreshing YouTube Studio with 4 views, they are not failing. They are building their roots. Every quiet upload mattered. Every awkward early video mattered. Every low view upload was part of the foundation. So, if you currently have a video sitting in your draft because you are scared nobody will watch it, that's actually your sign to post it. Because the incubation period is the safest place you will ever have to improve. Right now, almost nobody is watching. That's not a rejection, that's a cover. It gives you space to make mistake, space to experiment, and space to become better before the pressure arrives. The incubation period only works if you actually show up. Honestly, that's what the next video is about. I made another video called "This is why I'm begging you to make boring YouTube videos," because once you stop fearing slow growth, the next thing you have to overcome is production anxiety. The belief that your setup isn't good enough, your camera isn't expensive enough, your editing isn't cinematic enough. In that video, I want to show you why none of that mattered nearly as much as you think, because simple videos with something real to say will almost always outperform overproduced video with nothing meaningful underneath them. So go watch that next video and I'll see you there.